Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a first perspective on things. And we see them in today. We got a show. I may go off on it, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, this is a continuation of a topic that we produced yesterday. Yesterday, we produced a show that was centered on some comments that Jason Whitlock of the Blaze, he made some comments about exposing Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe. The backstory is simply this, to summarize quickly. Stephen A. Smith went on Joe Budden's podcast. He basically said a shocking bit of news, which was that Shannon Sharpe was pushed out of FS1 instead of him leaving on his own will. And basically a lot of us were surprised because we didn't know that. We thought he just left because he wanted to leave. So a lot of us were surprised by that. Then Jason Whitlock picks up that story and basically says, no, that's not what happened. And if you guys continue to go out there and cap, I'm going to expose everything. Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe, you guys need to stop doing this. This is unbecoming of you. You need to stop it. Fantastic. We're producing the show. Usually, I don't use so many notes because I used to use notes a lot, but now it kind of restricts me. So sometimes I kind of go off the cuff, but I'm able to reel myself in from time to time, or usually. So as I was talking and I was thinking about the topic as I'm talking, I started to remember things that I've heard Jason Whitlock say over time. And as the audio finished playing, it just came to me at that moment to basically express my views on him. And essentially what I was saying was, I was upset at the fact that everything that he says always seems to have a negative slant when he's talking about blacks. So for those of you who did not hear my comments in that short soundbite of me saying what was annoying me about him, I want to quickly play them for you now, and then we're going to continue on with the show. Take a listen to what I had to say just on yesterday's show. Take a listen to that there. Before I even get into my points and react to what he said, I just got to say this. I'm all for people saying what they think. I'm all for people telling their truth. I'm all for people doing what it is that they want to do, to be totally honest with you. However, there's something that I have to talk about, and I have to speak my piece on this. I'm not saying that what Jason Whitlock is saying is not true. I'm not saying that. However, why is it always black? Why is it always black per this? All of the commentary seems to be targeted. I'm not calling race here. And as a matter of fact, I'm qualified to talk about this because I'm a black person calling this out. So I would find it quite offensive for another person that's not black to then say, you don't have an opinion, you don't have a right to talk about this because it's not true. I'm black, so I'm noticing something that is constantly targeted towards me. Why is all of the commentary, not saying that it's not true, but why is it constantly black, and it's always negative? Black this, black that is negative, black. When does it finish? Black guy did this. Black guy did that. Black people are doing this. Black people are doing that. Black people are doing this. Black people are doing that. You go to other channel. Black women are doing this. Black women are doing that. Who are these black people you meet? I don't know all of these black people you're talking about. Are there some bad actors in the black community? Yes. Folks, there are bad actors in every single community. If you're going to be talking like this, spread the love. Spread the love. Why is it always at black? Why? Why is it always that? Why is it always that? Why is it always that? Every single day, it's like, okay, let me see what this black guy did, what this black woman did, what this black guy did. Don't you have anything else to talk about? Are black people the only people that are doing things wrong, doing things that are wrong? What is this? Why is it always black? What is this? I'm noticing this that some people do. If it's not black guys, it's black women. What is going on with this? It's getting weird. And I think any person that came from the race that the person is discussing. I don't care if you're Italian. If there was an Italian person that's constantly criticizing Italian people, you would say at a certain point, man, are Italians the only people in the world? Are they the only people? I mean, really? Is this your job, the ambassador, of saying what the hell is wrong with Italians? Or if a Chinese guy was doing this, or if a German American guy, like, bro, are there not other people out there? What is this black thing? It's weird. Like, what is this? So you heard what I said there. Now, those particular comments that I made ended up splitting up the video in two. There were people reacting to what I said in that bit of time, and then there were people reacting to the larger point that I was making about the show. Today, I want to focus on what I was saying in that soundbite and really flesh out my ideas as to why I took that position. The reason I was prompted to do that, given the fact that I know Jason Whitlock usually does this, especially when he's talking about black men for whatever reason, was basically prompted by some of the comments that he recently made about Deion Sanders. In that show that he produced, he was talking about Deion Sanders' behavior as an adult male. He was comparing him to a female TikToker, and he was questioning his religious background as a Christian. And that's something that didn't sit well with me because I'm also a Christian. But this holier than thou attitude is something that turns me off. Now, some people may be saying, but what exactly did he say about Deion Sanders that really got you fired up? I want to quickly play a little bit of what he had to say about Deion Sanders, and then we're going to really get into the meat and potatoes of this video here. Take a listen to what Jason Whitlock had to say about Deion Sanders here.
Does Deion Sanders believe in Deion Sanders? He's certainly not acting like a believer in himself, the Colorado Buffaloes, or the God he proclaims when he occasionally takes a break from self-promotion. Following Colorado's upset of 17th-ranked Texas Christian, Primetime behaved like an insecure 29-year-old woman trying to convince herself that streaming reality TV shows, cooking shashuka, and getting drunk at a Beyonce concert beats marriage and kids. Yeah, I went there. Remember the woman? Let's play the clip.
It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I am 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15. Every time I thought, I should probably get up and do something. I thought, why? Nobody's making me. I'm not missing out on anything. I went to Beyonce last night, and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. And I danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up a tad hungover this morning, which is probably why I was in bed for so long. And I was just scrolling on my phone and I saw a picture of shakshuka and I thought, you know what sounds really good? Maybe I'm gonna learn how to make shakshuka today. Because I have no plans and I don't have kids and I don't have a husband and I don't have errands to run. I know that you can do all these things when you have kids and you're married, and I understand, but the effortlessness and ease of my life, just kind of focusing on myself and the shakshuka I want to make or the Beyonce concert I want to go to, really pays off when I'm hard on myself for not being where society tells me I should be in life.
Yeah, Deion, that's who you sounded like. The woman that's been beefing with Matt Walsh all weekend, that TikToker lying to herself, that's how Deion sounded. On the heels of his 45-42 victory, Primetime walked into his press conference crowing about the receipts he kept on his critics and immediately transitioned into bragging about his son, Shedeur, Colorado's starting quarterback. The self-idolatry, hubris, and LeVar Ball impersonation were just the warm-up. It didn't take long for the first-year Colorado head coach to channel his inner Al Sharpton. Take a listen.
We're gonna continuously be questioned because we do things that have never been done. That's the way our life has presented themselves. We do things that have never been done, and that makes people uncomfortable. When you see a confident black man sitting up here talking his talk, walking his walk, coaching 75% African Americans in the locker room, that's kind of threatening. Oh, they don't like that. But guess what? We're going to consistently do what we do because I'm here and ain't going nowhere. And I'm about to get comfortable in a minute.
Deion Sanders is actually insanely insecure. He camouflages his self-doubt with gold chains, bluster, and bullying. He's 56 and insists that people refer to him as Prime, a secular materialistic character he created as a child at Florida State. The lack of evolution and maturity are stunning. What's equally shocking is how many people play along with his cosplay. Most of the media celebrated Sanders' post-game antics. White reporters fear being labeled racist. Black reporters fear being labeled sellouts. The ex-jocks with a platform all want to be Deion and fear jeopardizing their invitation to speak to the Colorado football team. Deion ruined a fun, feel-good sports story. He needlessly racialized a game and demonized individuals who meant him no harm. I've tried my best to support Deion Sanders. I can't do it anymore. I spent the last 6 or 7 years hoping Deion's proclaimed Christian faith would begin manifesting itself in his public behavior. I'm the same age as Deion. I've been every bit as worldly, insecure, and foolish as Sanders. But you live long enough and you begin to figure out that God's ways are superior to man's. Deion hasn't surrendered to that fact yet. It's disappointing. But he's rarely confronted with any hard truth.
So those were the comments he made. Now I'm going to give you guys my actual thoughts on all of this. And I want to take my time with that. I don't want to feel rushed. First of all, as you guys know, Jason Whitlock recently produced a show a few days ago. He had on there Warren Sapp and a very interesting guest as well. He had on there Brett Favre. Brett Favre. If you guys know anything about Brett Favre, he was a very good quarterback during his playing days when he played for, I believe the Packers. Yes, the Green Bay Packers. But a few months ago, or less than a year ago, there was a story surrounding Brett Favre and funds that were being siphoned off from the poor and the underserved in a community. I forgot the place exactly. And according to reports, those funds are being used to build some gymnasium or something like that. And people actually got charged with this. Brett Favre's name was heavily involved in it. And people like Shannon Sharpe and Pat McAfee actually called Brett Favre out, and Brett Favre threatened to sue them for defamation. And Pat McAfee basically said, go ahead. He said, because the operative word I'm using here is allegedly. Allegedly. That case went nowhere. So here we have a Jason Whitlock who was questioning Deion Sanders' masculinity, questioning his temperament, questioning his dressing choices, and also questioning his religious background. But there you were on a show, sitting right next to Brett Favre, who was accused of stealing from the poor. And you had no issue with being in his company. None whatsoever. Do you know that in certain places in the world, if people even hear that you were allegedly involved in a particular activity, they won't associate with you, period. But you had no issue sitting up there talking to Brett Favre. None whatsoever, given the allegation that was put out there. But when it comes to Deion Sanders, you have all of these things to say. Now, help me figure out, was Deion Sanders, any of this news surrounding him, are there any legal cases out for him? Does it have any legal ramifications for him? Or is it just about a guy talking his talk and coaching the football team? It's essentially about sports. The situation Brett Favre was in was a legal situation, which was very serious, and people were charged. I believe some people are even going to jail. If my memory serves me right, when I was reading about the case. But here you are, talking about Deion Sanders and talking about religion. and talking about ethics and talking about virtue and talking about. Let me get to my other point. Hold on. Who made Jason Whitlock the arbiter over black people? Let me figure this out. Who made him the arbiter over blacks? Who? Help me figure. When was the election where it was said that Jason Whitlock is going to be the arbiter over black people and he's going to be the one to determine what type of behavior we need to have? When did that meeting take place? And when was the votes cast? Oh, that's right. It never happened. So what makes him think that his views about blacks need to matter? That's number one. Number two, and I've noticed this. And oh, by the way, if you feel offended or any kind of way, that is your bloody business. Someone asked me yesterday in the chat, why are you offended by this? I'm like, because I'm a black man. I thought this would be obvious to you. If I knew your ethnicity, I would ask you, if someone was constantly talking about your ethnic group like this, wouldn't you feel offended? Why are you asking me that question? It's almost as if you're telling me how I need to be reacting. I don't go around telling people how they need to react to issues pertaining to their community. I never do that. I don't tell Italians or Germans or Mexicans or whoever it is, why are you getting offended? Why are you feeling this way? It's not my bloody place. If they want to feel offended, it's about them because they're talking about them. Why would I feel the need to question them on that? Number one. Number two, what I've noticed about Jason is that, yes, he makes valid points, but his coverage of blacks always seems to be negative, and that's where you lose me. That's where you lose me. It can't be that everything you say is always negative. Do you know why? Because if that's the case, it means that you only view blacks through a negative prism. And the question then becomes, why? Why? What happened? What happened? What happened? Number one. Number two, why would you have other people from other background or other groups coming on your show to talk about the issues about blacks? I'm trying to figure this out. Why would you do that? Why would you do this? Why? Why are you inviting them to talk about your issues? Why are you doing that? Isn't it better you go solve your own issues? It's almost as if you're doing it because you feel like, oh, there are people that love this, so let me do it. Why are you doing this? No one will accuse me of race baiting because we barely talk about race. The irony is there are people out there that actually complain about, oh my God, there's too much race in politics, yet in sports, but yet that's all they talk about. That's all they talk about. Every single video is either a racial angle or a political angle. And these are the same people running around talking about, oh my God, let me tell you, this is the reason why I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. Y'all both be playing games. The both of y'all. Don't spit in my face and tell me it's raining. The both of y'all. Jason Whitlock is a conservative, whatever the hell you want to call him. And he's playing that game and thinks people are stupid, like we don't see through it. This is stupidity. Why are you doing this? This is the reason I don't get into politics. People are full of it. They'll be on the one hand criticizing others for their views. Meanwhile, they're holding their own views, believing that their views should be the ones that need to prevail. Why? Why? On either side. Why? Why can't you just judge issues for what they are and then leave it at that? Why? Why does everything have to have some political angle to it? This is why I can't stand politics. Y'all wonder why I don't talk? It's for this reason. Because they're always playing some game. It's always a game. And the irony is they think people are stupid. Like people can't see through it. It's only uneducated people that can't see through it. What are we talking about? I know politics. Inside and out. Inside and out. My grandfather was the first financial secretary of his country, number one. Number two, the current sitting president in his country, he started that political party. That's on my mother's side. On my father's side, we have politicians all over our family, and we were part of the last campaign running in Nigeria. We weren't part of it, but we were supporting one of the presidential candidates. I met him. He came to one of the events for my wedding. So nobody gonna sit up here and tell me about politics. And I'm still not interested in it. These dudes are playing games. Oh, I don't mean, you're gonna call a man and say these are feminine traits. And that's supposed to be okay? Like, no, he's speaking. What about what he's doing is feminine? What about it? Help me figure this. What about what Deion Sanders is doing is specifically? What about it is feminine? That he's loud. Have you been around people in the world? No, help me. Have you been around people in the world? So Deion Sanders, so blacks are the only ones that are loud? Help me figure, what are we saying here? What are you saying? I'm offended because you're trying to paint with a broad brush and make it seem like we're just one type of person. It's a joke. I know people that if they met Jason Whitlock, they say, man, who is this guy? I know people like that. I know people like that. There are guys that will see him, look him up and down, I beg, who is this guy? I bet, just move over. Who is this guy? Coming here talking about I'm a journalist. They don't even look at you. I know blacks like that. I know them. What's up with all of this hate? What's up with all of this hate? It's ridiculous. And then people want, well, Jason Whitlock, he ain't been telling a damn thing. Jason Whitlock tells the truth, but he only tells the truth about blacks. Why are you always talking about blacks? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. It's always blacks. Always what's wrong with blacks. Always what's wrong with blacks. What are you doing it for? What's your motivation? I don't care if he sees this video. I don't care. Who is he to me? I don't care. Did I crawl up out of some hole? I don't care. I can't be intimidated by somebody like that, please. I can't. A few days ago, I went somewhere with my wife. I met Tony Alumalu, one of the richest. Go Google who that is. Somebody worth over $1.5 billion. A black man. Why don't you talk about blacks like that, Jason Whitlock? Why are you always talking about some ignorance? And we're supposed to take you seriously. You must be talking to stupid people that be amused by you. These are my thoughts. And by the way, if you're offended, so bloody be it. If I have to sit down and listen to his truth, you can listen to mine. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, catch you guys on the next show. Peace.